Oh,
Hey, welcome everybody. Sorry about that. We're a minute late. I'm here, producer AB. I'm here with Ryan Rosebiani. How we doing, Ryan?
I'm doing good, man. Thank you so much for having me. Great to see you.
No problem. Great to see you. How was your day in the market today?
Buddy, it was a nice exhale, a nice refresher. Finally got to see some green on the terminals coming through in the portfolio green. So I'm happy. I'm grateful. I'm happy. I hope it continues tomorrow.
Oh my God, me too. Were you
What
looking at
about you?
anything? It's good. I mean, my portfolio was looking great. I actually meant to sell some stuff to free up some cash before the market closed, and I didn't get to do that. So now I'm just hoping and praying with everyone else. So
Get that after hour sales in, man.
yes,
Set
sir.
those limit orders.
Do you have any? Oh, you got QQQ pulled up right now?
I got QQQ pulled up. I was just checking it real quick. I was going to start talking a little bit about some of the one of the big runners today. We had Can running today, so that one had a big move today, up almost. It was up almost like 50 something percent at a certain point in the day, and it made a really big move to above 30. And of course, it sold off a little bit, wick down now. It had really good movement. So the thing that I like about this stock a lot is it's got they're a Bitcoin hardware company, so they make the kind of the mining machines, and Bitmain, the other company that makes Bitcoin mining hardware. So if you guys see me looking this way, it's because there's two screens. I'm not trying to avoid the camera, but there's Bitmain, which makes a lot of the S19 miners that you saw, for example, Mara buy, a lot of the other companies buy. They're sold out for 2021, so everyone's now going to Can to buy their hardware machines. So Can is a hot commodity right now, and it reflected it today. We saw this huge ramp up, especially in the afternoon. It just ran up all the way to like over $30. And of course, you saw it come down and kind of huddle down. But this has been a play that I've been watching. I wasn't in it today, unfortunately. With everything going on in the market, I never had a chance to add a position to this one. But this one looks exciting. And I think this is one that I'll be watching very closely if Bitcoin pulls back, because last night we saw the rally start. We finally got the green candle on the daily chart for Bitcoin. That started to move. So if this is one of those stocks I'll be definitely keeping an eye on, because what I think is with the next shift into the Bitcoin mining stocks, especially that we're running out of hardware now, we're going to see that a lot of these companies will probably have to turn to mergers and acquisitions for hardware if they need it this year, because we've got a lot of different variables for Bitcoin, and for these Bitcoin mining companies, unless you have the hardware, you can't keep up with the other ones. So, like for example, you saw Mara is going to have over 10K miners at the end of the year. Cypher Mining's buying a ton of miners from their subsidiary Bitfury, which is now set up like a exclusive deal with them. So I don't even know if they'll sell to other people because it's their company now. Cypher Mining is a subsidiary of Bitfury. They're coming live through the Guac spec GWAC. So Can is something that I'm watching very closely. It's a strong chart. It had, just like most of the other ones that we had today, had a really, really good reversal. Started making the moves, man, and I like it. I'm excited for it. I think I do regret missing out on it. It would have been a nice 50% scalp today had I got it even in the morning. But I mean, you live and learn. Just wait for the next one. This is one that likes to spike a lot, and I don't think we're far from over with this stock, especially.
Got it. Yeah. So Can is more of like a hardware Bitcoin stock compared to some of the software ones.
Yeah, so like Bitcoin, so like Mara, Riot, all those other ones, they actually mine Bitcoin. So they're big subsidiaries. Okay, these guys are mining Bitcoin. They have Bitcoin on their balance sheet. They fluctuate as Bitcoin fluctuates. But these folks work on the hardware side of things. We're like, okay, we're going to go out there and mine for Bitcoin, and we're going to go out and try to make money by selling the actual hardware for the Bitcoin miners. So that's why they differentiate from like Mara and Riot and those bigger names.
Got it.
So that one's a little bit more. That one has like, it's kind of like more of a shovel play within the shovel play of the mining stock. So it can definitely get a little bit more exciting and kind of start making moves. And we can see where it kind of goes from there. And I don't know. I think this is one that folks should have on their watch lists if they want to kind of, if Bitcoin, because I imagine as Bitcoin's been going up, it might hit 57, 58 and then reject that, come back down. And all of these stocks will flux with Bitcoin. So I imagine this will also come down and kind of hit a certain threshold, come back down to the 20s, and then you can kind of scalp and ride that up on the next Bitcoin leg up. So I think that'll definitely get exciting.
Yeah, I mean, I'm always looking at those. It's interesting because people mainly just invest straight into Bitcoin and stuff, but it's always fun to kind of look at these different Bitcoin stock plays that you can get
Mhm.
into.
Yeah, these ones you have a lot more upside. So, for example, like Bitcoin runs like 1%, 2%, 5%. These, like you saw, this one ran 50%. Mara today ran like 30% at a certain point, 29 and 30%. Pull it up and take a look. That one had a good day as well. Just mellow. It's moving. It's chugging along. It hasn't been moving as fast as I'd like it to move, but it has been moving. Credit to it. It went as high as, I think that's almost like $38. Yeah, almost $38 at a certain point during the day. Yeah, 37.93. So it went really, really high, and it was just chugging along. I think with this one, it's just a matter of time. Traders lost a lot of confidence. The whole market these past like over 2 weeks now. We can almost say 3 weeks. So I just think that you just need a little bit more time. People gain a little bit more confidence, and it starts moving. A piece of news that actually came across on my radar was that JP Morgan is doing something to get a little bit of what do you call it? Bitcoin exposure, crypto exposure for their kind of investors. They just did an SEC filing. So they've got like this new, it looks like a fund where you need like a minimum of $1,000, and you can kind of buy into this Chase fund. It's called the JP Morgan Basket of Companies with Exposure to Cryptocurrency, March 2021. The thing with me is, these look great. So the companies that are listed on there, for those that want to kind of get an insight into, it's MicroStrategy, obviously, Square, you got Riot, Nvidia, PayPal, Advanced Micro Devices, which is AMD, American Depositories of Taiwan Semiconductor, which is TSM. You've got ICE, you've got CME, OSTK, and Silvergate Capital, SI. One thing that confuses me, for example, is like I don't see Mara on here. I don't get it. I don't see Mara on here. Mara mines Bitcoin. They own Bitcoin. I don't see Can on here. Can would have been perfect for this. I get MicroStrategy and Square. I understand Riot because they mine Bitcoin, but it's like if you see like other companies coming in, I would really like to see Guac on here. Guac, the SPAC that's merging with Cypher Mining, just for them to get some exposure. But I mean, I guess they're getting their feet wet though, just like other ETFs or funds or whatever. They'll be adjusting this as well. But I was really surprised not to see Mara on here because they both own Bitcoin, they bought Bitcoin, they mine Bitcoin. So to me, that was a little bit confusing because Riot has not made a direct purchase of Bitcoin onto their balance sheet, whereas Mara, I believe, owns 9% of their balance sheet directly through Bitcoin. So well, I'll definitely be keeping an eye on that to see what goes on, and we can kind of take it from there. So we got questions coming into the chat. I'll start answering those because I love doing that. If that's cool with you, producer Aaron.
Yeah, of course. This is your show. Let's let you take it. And yeah,
Let's rock and roll.
That's my mic that gets hot, by the way, people in the comments. I don't know what to do about this thing.
It's a hot mic, man. That's a good luck sign in the industry. That's a good luck sign.
Exactly. We've got hot mics. Well, I saw a good question about, can you break down a few of the most recommended platforms for trading crypto? I don't know if you feel comfortable answering this. I mean, I know Coinbase is like very reputable. The downside to Coinbase is that not all of these like altcoins and stuff are on there.
Right. So you got Coinbase, which is the big one. Coinbase is a lot. You got the main ones on there. You got Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, Bitcoin Cash. You got Link Chain, which is Chainlink. You got that on there. But the big downside, like you said, a lot of the altcoins you won't see there. Like today, they just got confirmation that they'll be putting SushiSwap, which is a big kind of like Ethereum-based coin, will be coming onto Coinbase, which is good. An alternative to Coinbase, you can make your account in Coinbase. You can also use that same login to go into Coinbase Pro. This will allow you to do limit orders, stop losses, and the fees are a lot less than actual Coinbase. It's literally the same login, and it looks like a bit of a fighter pilot-esque interface, so it's a little bit intimidating. I'm not prepared to screen share. I don't want to show anything that I shouldn't be showing here because I don't want to log in and show you what that looks like. Maybe next time we could definitely do that. Another platform that I really like is Gemini. Gemini is very interesting. It's got fees just like Coinbase. They're on par. But Gemini has this brand new Earn program. If you aren't familiar with Gemini, just take a step back. It's the Winklevoss brothers, I can never say their names. The first Bitcoin billionaires, the same guys with the whole Facebook scandal. They made Gemini. They're behind Gemini or whatever. and they've got this new earn program. So the earn program allows you to earn interest on your Bitcoin with a certain percentage. So I know Bitcoin and Ethereum are 3%, Litecoin I believe is 5%. So that's what I've done is I buy all my coin in Coinbase, so I can kind of avoid the bigger fees in Gemini. Then I have to transfer it, which of course there's a little bit of a burn rate or gas fee or transfer fee that comes into it because you got to pay the network to move your coin. And then I put it into Gemini and I put it into the earnings program there. And I like it because you don't earn in dollar value, you earn in actual what the coin is. So if you put it into the Ethereum earn, you'll be earning through Ethereum that 3%. So I like doing that. Again, I would definitely talk to a financial advisor because I'm not a financial advisor. This is all for entertainment and educational purposes only. This is just the methodology that I do. And it's always good the rule is like, if you have over $1,000 or $10,000 in any kind of crypto, to move it to cold storage. And that'd be like using a ledger. It's kind of like a USB thing, but that's for like a lot more complicated. If you're just buying and holding, it's okay to have it across these platforms because they're insured. Most of them are insured. I know Coinbase and Gemini are, and Coinbase Pro, because of Coinbase, are insured up to $250,000. So that should definitely help you out. But that's a great question. Thank you, Solar Up. That was a really good question. So let's look at a couple of these. Let's take a step back. Let's talk about NNDM. NNDM had a really good day. That's a stock that got beat up last week. NNDM, Nano Dimensions. I believe we talked about this a little bit in the stream last week as well, but this got beat up a lot. Let me just make this a little bit bigger so we can kind of got a lot of these headlines coming in. So it kind of pushes the chart down. So we can go full screen mode here. Kind of zoom in. And okay, that wasn't a good idea on my part. Okay, I think this is fine. So you can see here, Nano Dimensions had a really, really good day. If we just pull up their daily chart real quick, we can see that last week they got really beat up. So Nano Dimensions is comically known for the amount of offerings that they do, but the amount of offerings that they've done has been strategic, and we finally know what they're all been for. So they've accumulated $1.5 billion onto their balance sheet. They're looking to do a merger and acquisition with 1 to 2 companies that are in the same realm and space as Nano Dimensions. So they had a really good day. Here it's telling me they had a 10% up day. I'm just going to pull it up on my Webull as well, so I can kind of get a better understanding of how the stock moved. But we can look at it. This is the daily chart. As you saw here, we got lucky. We were discussing it last week that maybe it'll come down here and test the 200 moving average, but it didn't. We got really lucky there. And right now it looks like we'll be bouncing up. And hopefully if the market holds and we get enough volume, we had a decent amount of volume today, 35.74 million. So we can definitely hopefully see a lot more movement within this stock. But I like this stock a lot. As Roaring Kitty said, I like the stock, and I think that the management team is going to do a nice merger and acquisition with this one. So let's see, what else do we have here? Okay. So Doordash Discussion. I see a lot of comments. It looks like they're having a conversation on their own in there. So earlier, Benzinga shouted out Voyager, but I wasn't able to get it as it was experiencing a surge of interest. Yeah, so Voyager is a stock that Luke talks about a lot. It's a kind of a cryptocurrency exchange platform like Coinbase. They're publicly traded. I think they're one of the only ones that's publicly traded. I like Voyager, but that's the thing that I've been hearing is it takes a little bit to be able to get into the program. I had a few people ask me as well of, hey, why can't we get into Voyager? They've got a bit of a wait time. So it looks like, I haven't been able to get in myself yet either. So it could be interesting, but we can pull up the chart if you like, and we can talk about that one as well. Voyager. So there's 2, by the way. There's Voyager Therapeutics, which is a therapeutics company, but Voyager, the one that's in regards to crypto, is VYGVF, which is on the OTC or the over-the-counter market. You won't be able to trade this on Robinhood or Webull or SoFi. You need this on like TD Ameritrade or E-Trade or one of those other platforms that lets you do it. So it looks like these folks had a good rebound day as well. They were able to recover from everything that was going on in the chaos in the market. But of course, Bitcoin helps them out too. So these guys move off that. But this looks like they're trying to regain the 21 MA. So we can definitely see that being tested today. And it was a little pushed down, but they were still riding. It looks like I want to see them kind of regain this and make their way back up to hopefully over $20 or $20 and higher very soon. But it's really interesting. This will be one of the stocks that will benefit during the Coinbase IPO. So it's Coinbase IPOs. As you guys know, a lot of these stocks have sympathy plays that run with them. So for example, if Bitcoin runs, you see all the Bitcoin stocks move. If you see, for example, Coinbase running, and if the IPO opens up and it moves really well, and I expect it to do so because it has a really, really good balance sheet. I was looking through the S1 last week. It's got one of the best balance sheets that I've seen in a long time. So I'm really interested in that IPO. I imagine Voyager will also have a great move and a shift upward because of this, because it's a sympathy. It's a relatively cheaper stock than what I imagine Coinbase will be. So I think this stock will do well into that IPO that is coming up very, very soon. So we've got a Sundial question. Sundial did the same way. Too many offerings. Yeah, I agree. Sundial right now is sitting on a $1 billion S3, which is a S3 is a shelf offering. What an S3 means is it means we're not going to activate the offering right now, but we can activate it at any time. So they're sitting on a $1 billion shelf offering, of which I believe they did 100 million of it already. If I'm off the top, I'm just going off the top of my head, I could be 100% wrong. But the cool thing about this Benzinga tool is it gives me all of the information that happens here in the news feed. So if I just scroll down a little bit, we can probably find the information about it. So they've got one big thing is if you're in Sundial, you want to be careful. And this is the catalyst that I've been watching for my entry into Sundial, because I know the cannabis stock should get hot. Now stimulus is passed through the Senate. The next bill they promise is either energy or cannabis. So I'm definitely keeping an eye on this stock, because this is one that runs during the cannabis movements because it's the cheapest cannabis stock. But they've got earnings coming up on March 17th. So as you folks probably know by now, earnings, good or bad, can tend to tank the stock and create a dip. So that's what I'm taking a look at Sundial around that time period to see if maybe they do the rest of their offering with this, because sometimes on earnings they do trigger offerings. And Sundial is also known to trigger offerings on Fridays, like right before market close. So keep an eye on it then. But Sundial is an interesting company, man. It's one of those that had a lot of run just on rumors. It was, for lack of a better word, pumped a bit and went to $4. But if we just look at straight up on the chart, it looks like it's been barcoding for a lot down here. It was barcoding for a while. Then we had the huge leg up. And this is a 2-day chart. So we'll definitely have to take a closer look at it here and the more advanced chart that we have with the candles. So again, it had a good day today. Most cannabis stocks had really good days today. And again, you see, one thing that's giving me a lot of confidence is this stock is staying above that 50 MA, which is that $1.08 point, which is good. And this stock closed at $1.32, which is strong, very strong, up about 14, now 13.8%. But this is a stock that I definitely keep an eye on because it tends to rally when cannabis stocks get hot. But if we just look at it intraday, you see it's back to doing what it does a lot. Is this stock loves to barcode, man. So barcoding, for those who aren't familiar, is the stock literally moves up and down. It's kind of oppressed and it kind of sticks within this region, and it shifts up sometimes, it comes down sometimes. So be careful with barcoding stocks. It can either go up or down. But to me, usually with Sundial, barcoding has never bothered me with Sundial. So if you're in it, it's cool. But that March 17th date, keep that on your books. Keep your eyes on that price, because that can be a great time to either average down or enter the stock on that dip that comes, depending on how it is. If it's an atrocious earnings and it's really bad, I would definitely take a step back. And one stock I'd like to show you folks is OGI, which is Organigram Holdings, like organic gram. It's also a cannabis play, but more in the medicinal side of things. This is a stock that I've been watching for a bit. I played it once before during the original cannabis run. I played this one in Sundial. I like this one because if you look here, you've got the 200 MA riding as support, which is good. And you also have, if we zoom in really, 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 really close, you can see right here, you've got a golden cross. So golden cross, if you remember, we discussed this a little bit last week. It's when the 50 MA is above the 200 MA, and that's a bullish signal. And this has to, this is on the 1 minute chart. I just made myself look stupid. This has to be on the daily chart for it to work. So I apologize for that. But so just to rephrase everything I said, we're riding the 50 MA, not the 200 MA, but we still have the 50 MA as support. And I want to see this kind of come back and regain the 21 MA, which is very bullish for me signal when it regains the 21 MA and it holds it. But we'll definitely have to see. The MACD is still in the negatives. The RSI is starting to curl up, so we should see some movement there. But that's enough about cannabis. Let's let's see what else we can talk about. So one question that I saw on Twitter a lot, I posted a thing. I said, hey, if you guys have any questions, put them here. Is a lot of folks are asking me about the Roblox, ROBLOX IPO that's happening tomorrow. So there's no chart for that one. I did look at their S1. I did look at their books. I'm not a fan of their books. The company is cool. The games they do is cool. The rollout is cool. Kids love it. But their customer acquisition cost is very high. Their margins are very high in a bad way. Their cost of acquiring customers is very high. I believe it was 88% or something ridiculously high at that not fracture. Why did I say fracture? But it's not something that I'll be buying directly at IPO. I do like the company, but I think that they'll have a rough few earnings plays, just like Palantir is having right now. They're not, both of them are really good companies, but they're going to have rough earnings. That's when I'll be looking to kind of jump in and enter into my positions with that stock. I'm going to mirror what I did with Palantir, which has been successful for me. So I'm going to do that. Plus, you have a lot of insider shares. These are the people that work in the company that have been holding shares for a while that want to sell so they can get cash. They've been getting they get rewarded and paid through shares sometimes. You get a bonus through shares sometimes. So they're going to be probably looking for IPO day, which is tomorrow, to hopefully sell and make some money off of their shares. But again, it's no shade against the company. It's nothing bad. They're not a bad company. It's just that I want to time this right and kind of take it from there and kind of play it that way. So let's see. Try Clover for pot play. So CLVR. Sure, we can take a look at the chart. I don't know that stock. I know CLOV, but Clover we can definitely take a look. So I think Clover is also a newer company. Yeah. So funny thing is, if you guys don't know, I do YouTube videos where I do DD on stocks. And when Chamath had IPO A, B, and C, IPO A had a name. IPO B, we knew would be open. IPO C, we didn't know what the name would be after the merger. So my guess was it would be CLVR, but it ended up being CLOV. That's a story for another day. But I see that someone actually took this ticker name. So this is good. This is this ticker CLVR is actually doing very well. It rode the 21 MA, broke it, and today you've got a little bit of a doji here, which is kind of like a flat candle here. This is either a bullish or bearish signal. It's a coin flip based off what I've seen. You can sometimes see a doji here that happened here and it was bearish and it came down. Sometimes you can see a doji and it can start going up, but based off the MACD, based off the RSI, I think that this stock might have more room to go down. It didn't have a really strong day and didn't rally as well, but we can definitely get an idea of why that is, because let's take a look at the market cap and all the data that we have. So it is so if we take a look at the float, I don't have the float data here, so that's unfortunate, but let me pull it up here. No problem. CLVR. So this is a low float. This is an 18.84 million float, which to me means that this stock can move very quickly with the right amount of volume. But unfortunately, it looks like today it didn't get as much volume as it usually does. This stock is usually in about 1 million volume. It only got 700,000, so it lacked some volume. But one thing that you can see here is the 50 MA, which means that the stock has been live for 50 days, is forming, and this is riding that 50 MA support, which could be good. But if you like the stock and the DD makes sense and you have conviction in it, by all means, look to get it on dips if you want to and play it that way. But thank you for the suggestion. I will definitely take a look at it. So let's see what else is there in the chat that we can talk about. Mara, we discussed Mara. Rumors asking about Mara. We discussed Mara a little bit earlier in the stream. You guys know I'm long on Mara and I really like that stock a lot. So Jadid is saying I'm in with Roblox tomorrow. Cool, man. Write it out. Thoughts on TXMD? Let's pull up that chart and let's see. That name's familiar, but I'm blanking on it for some reason. TXMD. Therapeutics MD. Okay, it's a therapeutic stock, so it's in the biosector. So this one looks like it's heading down fast. It's almost entering oversold territories, which means the RSI is under 30. RSI is right now at 50. Sorry about that. And the MACD looks like it might start curling up very soon, but again, it had a rough day. You see here we have a red doji here, so this is a good thing, but I'll have to definitely study a little bit more on my candles to be able to further differentiate that. But if you look at like a previous candle that matched this, so if you look at this red doji here, it was followed by a green doji and then it went up. So you can see that your candles can tell you a lot. So technical analysis can definitely help, and Neil does a great job in the mornings with his show on that. So you can definitely learn a lot more from him than from me in terms of technicals. But this is a stock that, as you can see, it rallies up quickly. not too quickly, but it rallies up, and you can see it has strong days with the right amount of volume. So let's see if there's any news on this or anything that can cause it to move. So, okay, here we go. We've got a Form 4. So Form 4 is an acquisition or disposal form. It means when it's a form that's filed for when they buy or sell shares. So if we look here on the 28th, Finzio Robert G, which is a director in this company, disposed of 350,000 shares, and then on the 5th disposed of another 350,000 shares. If you look here, it shows how many shares that they have remaining at the current standing of at that time, how much they have. Of course, they can add and remove shares as well. On the 4th, he acquired, it looks like almost 180,000 shares. So that's good news. So he bought some. So again, you'd have to do some DD in this one. Again, I'm flying blind a little bit here because I'm new, but if you look, there's another form, and this gentleman also acquired. So this is Kodak. So one thing that you want to do is always come down and read the explanation about why they bought and sold shares. Sometimes you can see that these are shares that were awarded, like we discussed last time with Roblox. These companies can award staff member shares as bonus, and then they dispose of them. These are like restricted stock sometimes. Sometimes it's common stock. If it's common stock, it'll affect the stock price when they sell. And obviously, it looks a little bit weird when insiders sell stock without a reason. So it might call, like we saw with SPCE last week. We can pull that up. Chamath Palihapitiya, who this used to be IPOA, talking about Chamath's triplets. I call them the triplets, IPO A, B, and C. And then we've got the new triplets, IPO D, E, and F. He sold a substantial amount of shares in this company, but it looks like, again, you've got a green doji here on the daily candle. So we'll have to see. This is a company. I'm not in this company. I'm not too crazy about Virgin Galactic Holdings, but we'll definitely have to see how they do. I'm just not crazy about their business model. Let's see if we have any other questions in here. Can you, who else thinks Sniper can rocket? So let's take a look at Sniper, SYPR. SYPR. Spirus Solutions. So let me see what they do. Okay, so 11 million float. So we got the float data here. This time we can see that this is I call these baby floats. They're really, really low floats. You got no relative news that really matters. But let's take a look at the chart. I'm not exactly sure what these guys do, but that's completely fine. So they had a rough day. Looks like they had a big spike here on this day. They had a nice, 130% day. Okay, so that means they probably got some good news. And it looks like they might be in the biospace. I'm getting used to this. Here we go. We got a description of what they do. So they're providing outsourcing services, specialty products, manufacturing, engineering, and design, goods and manufacturing. So they're into manufacturing. So something happened, and it looks like they're going to be struggling a bit, because when a stock spikes this big and then rallies down for several days after, it's going to take a while for you to see this kind of movement, especially if the stock operates here in this range. Getting it back to this range requires, again, another presser or something big to get it to make a move that big. So again, if you have any other questions, we can take a look. So DYMI, it's another SPAC. I know these guys are merging with a really, really interesting company. DYMI. There we go. So this is their third SPAC. DYMT is the SPAC that I believe I invested in. And I think that one became Skills, if I'm not, no, that one didn't become Skills. I'm talking out of my head. They didn't merge yet, so it didn't change yet. Okay, so let's take a look. So they've got some news coming in. They're going to be merging with a quantum computing company, which is going to be really exciting. The SPAC is above NAV. So NAV for a SPAC is $10 usually. PSTH is the one that's at $20. So this one is above NAV. Again, very, very quick announcement. So if you look at the chart here, this is beforehand. This was when it was units. So SPACs usually started as units, where it's commons and warrants combined, and then they split. And when they split, you've got your commons now pop up on the chart, and then the warrants get their own chart. So it looks like it's been sitting here, and then it started I remember there's rumors coming out late January about the company, and we finally got the definite agreement today, but it looks like it did what CCIV did, and it sold the news today. That's completely fine. I'd have to definitely look at the investor presentation to be able to give you a better idea of what I think about this company. But if it's a SPAC you like, the good thing about SPACs is they have a lot of risk baked into them. If you can get them at NAV or very close to NAV, you minimize your risk, and they can act as like a small savings account. If you believe in it going up, but just don't go too crazy into too many SPACs if you don't want to if you want to have liquid cash on hand. But again, SPACs are something that has risk baked into it. So like the lowest that this SPAC was $10. I'm sorry, $10.50 was the low, and that's the lowest point that I can see here. And if we look here on the really, really red day, $10.76 was the low. So Zynga, someone's asking about Zynga, Zynga. So let me pull that up real quick. Zynga. Pull that up. Zynga. So this one's an interesting one too. This is we got a cheap. I expect this to be a more expensive stock. I'm getting it mixed up with someone else then. So these guys are also headed downward. I'm just looking at the MACD, but the RSI is curling, so that's a sign. It's a good sign. We had some volume coming in. As you can see here, this is a red candle, but it's a red candle that was fought. They had a lot of volume coming in. Well, not that much volume. This is weird. It looks like a lot of these stocks didn't have too much volume that we're discussing today. But again, it held the 200 MA support, and it's going to try to fight for that 50 MA support. So I definitely keep an eye on it, and you can definitely. I don't know too much about this one. I do know their logo, which is funny. I know they were. Oh, these guys are the ones that work in the apps. So this is interesting. They're a really interesting sector, an interesting space. There's a lot of competition. I know Glue is another company that works in this space as well. Glue is actually the first stock I got for free from Robinhood when I started trading. So yeah, I mean, you'd have to definitely do some DD on this one, but based off the chart, it looks like it's going to fight to regain that 50 MA. And if it does, that's a bullish signal, and see if it holds that and try to ride it back up to the highs of 12. So maybe you can go from 10 to 12, get a nice 20% bump, or maybe even 10 to 11, get a nice 10% bump. I still think a 10% gain is good. Let's see, Ebon. Ebon's a good stock too. Ebon's also another hardware stock that works in Bitcoin. We were discussing those very early on in the stream. That we were discussing CAN early on in the stream. Why isn't this coming? There we go. eBank International, interesting name. We're discussing CAN early on. They had a really, really good day, and it looks like Ebon also had a really good day. They had a nice little 13% rally. CAN did about a 50% rally today. Of course, it cooled down later on into the day, but this one is curling, man. Look at this. MACD is getting ready to curl up. RSI is parallel to that. The chart's looking strong. You can see here that it does have potential to move quickly. Let's take a look at the float. Where are you? 130. So it's not a low float, but it's a decent float. It's got a decent float, so it can move and make moves for you. But again, it would need a decent amount of volume. But this one, I guess, this one will run in sympathy of something like CAN or Bitcoin and stuff like that. So this is a good one as well. Personally, if I were to pick between eBank and CAN, I'd go with CAN just because I know their customers a lot better. Just based off of my own personal DD between these two companies. But again, I'll leave that up to you. You're the customer, man. You got to figure out what you want and what you like, and you can go from there. Let's see what else is coming in. SE is coming in. What is this one? I'm blanking on company names. C. Of course I know this. This is one of the big boys. Finally, we got a blue chip in the house. Where are my blue chip boys? Not just boys and girls, but where's everybody? So here we got another red doji here. All right. So MACD is curling down, but the RSI is curling up. Good sign. Held the 200 MA, which is strong. Broke the 50 MA during the red days, which was completely fine, and we can see it moving. Oh, look at this coming down here in our little ticker mover here. We've got Voyager and NNDM. I guess it's showing me all the stocks that I was looking at before. Still getting used to this really cool toy. It's a really good tool, not a toy. But SEA is a company that we hear a lot about, especially in pressers. I know ARC, I believe, owns a lot of this stock. I can do a quick Google search. SE ARC. I believe that they own shares in this company as well. So there's actually a company called ARC, I believe it is, that tells you all of ARC's holdings. Oh, Kathy's ARC. I'm sorry. Kathy's ARC is a website where you can go to, and you can kind of search. It's a combination of all of her funds, and you can kind of search for a ticker symbol in the side, and it tells you if she owns the stock. So let me see if I can share my screen with you to kind of show you this awesome tool as well. So let me stop screen sharing this one, and I'll screen share the other one. Chrome tab. Okay, so hopefully, yep, there we go. So if you look here, this is Kathy's Arc is the website, kathysarc.com. I'll take you to the homepage. You can see it shows all of the 55 ETF holdings in here, and then you can search SE, for example, and you can see that Kathy's holding this and what ETF she's holding. So it seems like a higher conviction play for her. She's holding it in ARC W, ARC F, and ARC K. So you can definitely see that there. So this is cool. This is cool. One question that I get a lot is people ask, how does Kathy Wood own Bitcoin in her ETFs? How does that make sense? You can't buy direct Bitcoin and put it into ETFs. That's a really good question. There's a fund called GBTC, which unfortunately isn't coming up here, but we can go to ARC's website, ARC Fund, and then I can take you to ARC W, which is the fund where they hold their they hold their Bitcoin in, and they hold it through the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. GBTC is the ticker name for that one. You do have to pay a premium on what you're essentially, these guys buy Bitcoin and then they sell this stock, and there's a premium that you're paying on the Bitcoin to keep it in, for example, an IRA, this ETF or something like that, because you can't, as of right now, as per the SEC, you can't put this kind of thing into your IRA or 401k directly, Bitcoin. So this is the alternative to it. I have some GBTC in one of my accounts as well. I like GBTC. Again, you have to catch it when Bitcoin is crashing. That way the premiums aren't too high, and it's paid off for me personally. I like it. I've had it for a while, but again, this is for you if you want to kind of put Bitcoin into your IRAs, your 401ks or something like that. So let me go back to our Benzinga Pro, and we can definitely talk about a few more stocks as we wind down. So if you have any questions about any stocks, you can put them in. Oh, Palantir is coming in heavy. We've got like 800 questions about Palantir. Smash the like button while you're here, guys. If you're asking a question, you're getting an answer. Smash the like button for me. Let's get those likes up. PLTR. Palantir. Now, full disclosure, I own a position in Palantir. We discussed this a little bit earlier in the stream too. They did an IPO as well. They did a direct IPO, I believe, and they struggled a bit. And then the market caught fire because they struggled a bit, because the same thing that I think will happen with Roblox tomorrow is they had a lot of insider selling by shareholders, because people that work in these companies get shares. Sorry about all the movement, by the way. You saw like the first day you had volume coming in and volume coming out, so it wasn't a very, very good day for them. And then you had red days, and it was fluxing until the crazy insider selling had finished, and then it started ramping up, nulling for a little bit, ramping up, nulling, and here we can see it coming down because we're dealing with a lot of different. I think there's a short report on Palantir or something happened with Palantir, and it started coming down. Their earnings, I believe they had earnings. But I think this is a stock that'll rebound. This is another one that Kathy Wood owns. This is one that I've done a lot of research on. Excuse me. I believe we discussed this last week as well, that this was one of those stocks that works in data and has government contracts, so it should be good. But yeah, let me quickly jump to another one. Let me see. I got two SOS. We spoke about the stock a lot on these streams. I mentioned this. I'll mention it again. I've been out of the stock for about 2 weeks now. It's having a rough time. That short report is hurting it a lot. There's a lot of stigma behind the stock. So do your DD, see if you like it. MACD is headed downward. RSI is sort of flat, so you definitely have to look into this one for yourself and see if you like it. This is one of those where you need to do a lot of DD into it to make sure you're covering yourself, because there's a lot of stigma around it, and you want to make sure that if you're buying this stock, especially a stock with it like this, that's become sort of a cult stock, that you kind of cover your assets. We'll keep it clean and we'll say cover your assets. So someone is asking, let me see. We got a fanboy. Not a fanboy, man. I like it, but I guess I'm not a fanboy. I don't know. Maybe I am. Who knows? Solo is one of those stocks that likes to move as well with the EV space. Solo is the one making that really, really ugly car. It's got 3 wheels. Last I saw it had 3 wheels. But Solo is, if you look here, the MACD is getting ready to turn. The RSI is curling up. The 200 MA held. So congratulations to anyone who's in the stock. 200 MA acted as really strong support here, and it kind of bounced up. And we had a green day today. We had a green day of about 9%. So look, one thing to keep in mind is if you have a day where you have over 1%, you'd beat the banks, because banks only give you like a 1% interest rate on your money. So if you're doing 9%, congratulations, that's great. I'd like to see this rally up. This does move a lot. When Tesla moves, this moves a lot. Two sympathy stocks to Solo are KNDI and AYRO. These are also two EV vehicle space companies that move, and they all tend to move with Tesla and NIO and the bigger names. When those move, they move as well. Let's keep smashing the like button if you haven't. TMRC. Okay, let's go with a unique name that I haven't seen. TMRC is the ticker. Texas Mineral Resource. Minerals are going to get hot. Minerals are going to get hot very, very soon. It's going to be one of those commodities that we're going to like to see. Okay, this one had a rough time as well with everything going on. It had a red day today as people were turning back to tech. It had a red day, but it still held above that 50 MA, which is good, and I like to see that. But this is one I'd keep in mind. AUNM. I'm not in any of these stocks, by the way. I don't want you to think that I'm pumping these or doing anything. But AUNM is also another mineral stock you want to keep an eye on. Had a green day. You got that green doji. RSI's curling. MACD's getting ready, and as you can see here, it spikes and kind of pumps up on. I said pumps. Why did I say pumps up? It jumps up on news. So it's one of those that you want to keep in mind. It's also a gold play, so it actually kind of acts as a hedge. It should act as a hedge, but it doesn't really. If you look at it here with the market, you know how people use gold directly to kind of hedge their stocks and their investments. This one, unfortunately, the stock directly doesn't act as a hedge. It should, but it doesn't. Again, it's a mineral company, not the actual mineral. So you might be better off just buying gold directly as a hedge, or Bitcoin as a hedge, or puts as a hedge. Those are three good hedges right there that you should do some discussion into. RMO, Romeo Power is a good one. Romeo Power is one that I'm liking a lot. I'm seeing this a lot. Heartbreaking to see it break the 200 MA, which it was just forming, but that's okay. It broke the 200 MA. This is a stock that's been struggling. It had a high of, sorry, my mouse got stuck for a second. It had a high of $38.90, almost $40, and now we're seeing it down here at $11.25. So this could be parallel to. This could be either setting up for recovery, or you'd have to do a lot of DD to see why this stock fell, but it is looking to, if you look at that MACD, those two lines are kind of sleeping on top of each other. It's been fighting and wanting to kind of curl up and recover, but it just needs some volume or some good news or something to get that stock going. But Romeo Power is a good one. Another one is THCB. If you like that one, full disclosure, I am in that stock. I'm not pumping it. Just look into it for yourself. They've been in the business for 10 years. The big thing that I like that they're doing is they're also developing batteries for mobile devices and cell phones and laptops, because we're going to hit a power wall very soon in our devices where it can't handle 5G and 6G signals. The battery just won't hold up. We saw that in the new iPhone. It had battery problems when it first came out because of 5G. So keep an eye on companies like that, because it's not just car batteries that need to be optimized. It's our devices need to be optimized as well. Okay, now the stocks are coming in fast. Zoom. I want to talk about that one. Then I want to talk about another play that I've started doing DD on that I'm going to post on my Twitter. If you want to follow me there at Ryan Rosbiani, I'll be posting some DD on this stock. So Zoom is a stock that I believe is undervalued right now. Just based off of how I see the world moving. Look at this. Zoom had a nice ramp up this past year because of everything going on with COVID, but people think that since COVID's over, Zoom is going to be gone. I don't think so. One thing you need to remember is Zoom is annual accounts for a lot of these corporations are annual accounts. So January or March come this year, they're going to have to renew because a lot of places are still working from home. I think we'll see a good earnings for their next earnings coming up. I think that Zoom is here to stay. Most people own Zoom. I bought a Zoom account, and I never thought that I'd need a Zoom account, but I bought a Zoom account. A lot of individuals are buying Zoom accounts. So I think that this is a company that's set for recovery. Again, do I think it's a $600 stock? No, that was a bit of hype leading up into earnings. I actually played that earnings play once. I believe it was into earnings. It was one of these big spikes was into earnings, but I think that this is one that you should keep an eye on. And again, it's going to be something where the industry, and you got to follow the money on this one. But I do think that this is a good stock. It's a good company because they're not just stocks. They're also companies behind these. The plays are coming out. So guys, keep smashing that like button. QS over Romeo. So let's talk about that a little bit. So Morel is saying QS over Romeo. So look, these are two unique companies. Romeo, I don't know too much about. I do know that they're from the very, very basis. Again, when I say I don't know too much about it, means that I just looked at their investor presentation. one thing that I like about that I prefer is these two companies is QS won't have something until 2024 last I checked. So I want to see QS give me some more data about what they're going to be doing next and where they're going to be going. I do believe that they're working in a space that's very theoretical. I do want to see them kind of come into this space and kind of show us what they're working with, be a little bit more transparent. But again, it's proprietary information, so it is a little bit risky. SRNE 100% potential. SRNE is one of those stocks, man. It's one of those COVID stocks, so you have to definitely keep an eye on that one for news and stay on top of it. Stay on top of that one. I'm trying to answer as many of these as I can, so if I miss your question, I do apologize. Let's talk about ELY. ELY, a 3-letter ticker. Those are unique. ELY. Oh, Callaway Golf Co. So this is one of those recovery stocks. Golf is coming back. Sports are slowly returning. Golf is one of those kind of sports where you can kind of do socially distant. So this is one of those that's going to be recovering quickly, and it looks like it has. So if we kind of go back to its lows when it kind of fell before that, this stock was in the 20s, so it's definitely recovered from its COVID drop, and it's been rallying essentially since after the election. It's been rallying. It did come down, and it looks like here it's getting ready for another leg up. The MACD is beautiful. I kind of wish that I could open a position right now instead of talking to you. I'm just totally kidding. This is a good stock. This is a good chart. This is a really good chart. It's above the 50 MA, above the 200 MA. The MACD is curling up green, ready to rock, ready to take off. It's fighting to go above that 21 MA, which is at $28. It looks like it closed above it, actually, so that's actually really good. Yeah, it closed at $30, so it closed above the 21 MA. This is a really good chart. This is a really good, looks like a really good stock, and the company, from what I've seen about them, is really decent. So this could be getting ready to leg up. You'll definitely have to keep an eye on it. Scale into these positions that are higher risk, because look at where we were just a month ago, about $18, low of $15. So let's just say 15. It's doubled to about $30. So it's up 100%. So be careful. There are people looking to take profits here. Again, if you're playing any stock and you're up 100% on the way up, look to take some profits and get some cash in the books. So when this down rally happens, like you see here, you can pick up on the dips and you have some free shares to ride, and you can it puts your mind at ease when you take profits. I promise you, it takes better. You're not missing out on gains. There'll always be red days where you can kind of add on dips. Let's see, what else do we got here? I'm getting a lot of tickers coming in now. Guys, smash the like button. Please smash that like button. Let's show some love to the chat. You just came in right now, so we're going to talk about you is one of those stocks, man. I'm in full disclosure. Unity Software. So Unity Software develops games. They develop VR, AR, 3D technology. These guys are the whole kit and caboodle. These guys IPO'd as well. They had a nice rally up. They came down, they rallied back up, and now they've been in a steady decline. They're trying to regain that $100 area. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn on the 100. I'm going to turn it off. I'm going to turn on the 100. I'm going to turn my yellow line from 200 MA to 100 MA. I don't think it'll give me 100 days. I don't think we've been online for 100 days. Kind of, yeah, we haven't been online for 100 days. Oh, so it's forming 100 MA here. So you can see it's below this. This stock needs to fight back. And if you look here, just like that other stock we discussed that I'm blanking on right now, but the two lines are fighting. This needs a little bit of volume and it will enter the recovery zone. I think Kathy Wood has been buying this stock, and I think she likes the stock as well. I think this stock has a lot of potential. It's just taking a beating, and stocks like this will do that sometimes, especially in red markets, especially in tech. But this is a stock that I like, and I've been adding on dips personally. Let's talk about some that I'm not in. You guys are bringing up Vuzi. Vuzi is a hot one. I'm not in Vuzi. I just closed my Benzinga Pro. I'm sorry. Let me just do that one more time. I accidentally closed Benzinga Pro. I got a little excited when someone said Vuzi. Little Vuzi Vert. I'm going to get banned for that one. Screen share. Okay, Vuzi is one that's been getting hot. They've got earnings coming up unconfirmed in 6 days. Again, one of the perks of this this great tool that we have here. It's a hot stock. It's holding above the 50 MA. It's a great sign. It's in somewhat of a decline, but the RSI is flat, so we can see that flip quickly. I don't know, man. Let's take a look at some of the news that has come in for this stock. Is this chat? If you guys could let me know the person who mentioned Vuzi, if you could let me know a little bit more about the stock. I've just been hearing so much about it. Vuzi is smart glasses. Oh, these guys are the AR company. Okay, Vuzi, the AR company. Okay, so this is cool. Again, AR is a company for the future. It's a future-based tech. It's a hot sector. It's something that's unavoidable. Kathy Wood, it looks like Kathy Wood added it. See, if you look here, that's part of the tools. You'll see a lot of the information coming in. So again, we'll have to definitely see this one. I want to see their earnings. I think will this be their first earnings? Definitely. Let me pull up the chart. I think these guys are a newer company as well. Yeah, it won't be their first earnings, but it'll be their first earnings after a nice rally. So I want to see if this rally holds. Will we break the 50 MA? I think we might break the 50 MA into earnings just because of how earnings operate. But keep an eye on it. AR is the future. AR glasses are the future. Companies acquire these. I know Facebook, from what we saw in their last Oculus stream, is looking to enter the AR space with goggles and glasses. So I'm keeping an eye on companies like this. I'd keep an eye on. This is like Microvision that works in LiDAR. This is a similar company to that one where it was super cheap and then it kind of ramped up. So this is one of those. Quickly, I want to get one more in here. Let me see. We discussed NNDM. Guys, smash the like button if you haven't. No, you guys don't need to do any donations. Just keep sending tickers, keep smashing the like button. That's completely fine. Solar Up came in with a really, really good question at the beginning of the stream. So I'm going to end this and come in with the final stock with his stock coming in ARGO, which is a Bitcoin mining stock. No, I went to the wrong one. Argo blockchain. Again, this is on the OTC market, over-the-counter market. These guys are the closest thing. Everyone talks about they want the next Mara. These guys are the closest thing that I'm seeing to be the next Mara. They're working in a lot of great technology. They're fighting really, really well to do what they can, and they're doing offerings. These guys closed an offering in an hour and a half yesterday. I don't know about you guys, but I've never seen an offering close that fast in an hour and a half. It was mind-blowing. It was awesome. That gives me a lot of confidence. It was both a public and I believe partially direct offering. So you had an insider buying. So we'll definitely have to see. I think Argo is one of those stocks that has a lot of potential to leg up. As you can see here, it started back here in December in the low 17 cents. 17 cents. And it went as high as I'm sorry, my eyes are playing games on me today. $4.65 up here. So again, this is one of those Bitcoin stocks, man. Keep an eye on it. This one's got potential, and I'm hearing a lot of buzz that this might move from the OTC to the NASDAQ just because they're in the compliance zone. I know they're in the highest tier OTC market, so we can definitely see this make a move, and that's a big catalyst for any stock. That means a lot more volume. All the Robinhood, Webull people can finally buy this stock and come into it. I think, producer Aaron, I think we have time for one or two more stocks. I think we close out at 6, but let me see if we have time.
Yeah, Ryan, we got time. We got 7 more minutes. We got a few tickers we can do.
Okay, perfect, good. I don't want to leave these guys hanging. They're coming in. You guys are coming in hot.
I'm seeing all these tickers flying in, Ryan. You've been going through them so fast. We need. Can we smash the like for Ryan? We've been throwing tickers at him. We've been going through. We got 300 people in here. We only got like 90 likes. Let's get some likes up before we get to the next.
Likes are free, by the way. Likes are totally free. You smash that like button. It's also good karma, I've heard. I don't know, producer Aaron. I heard if you smash the like button, the next day is usually green for you, at least on one stock or something like that.
Oh,
I usually smash like.
I'm going to smash the like right now. Then too. Yeah, I need a green day tomorrow.
Let's get this video to like 100 likes. We're like 1 away. Oh, there we go. 107. Beautiful. Keep the likes coming. Keep them coming. We can keep this stream going and having some fun.
By the way, I like that little Vuzi vert. You know, maybe I was thinking, what if he bought the stock and then he put out a song or something? You know, like.
Is he the one that put the diamond in his forehead?
I don't know. Maybe.
I know. There was one rapper who put a diamond in his forehead. It's like 27 million. Maybe he made money off of Vuzi and was able to do that.
Yeah. All right. Let's see what other tickers we got.
Yeah.
I'll pick one and then we'll do it.
Sure, please. I always feel guilty picking these.
We've done a bunch of OTC stocks, so let's do like a blue chip. All right, let's do PayPal.
Nice. Let's do PayPal. We talked with Siobhan about this stock on our after party show, which we'll have an episode up tomorrow night. I believe we'll be going live. So if you guys haven't seen that after party, it's a show Aaron and I do Wednesday nights. We bring on comedians and people in entertainment. And one stock we talked about was PayPal. So if you guys want, we can definitely you can definitely check that out. It was a lot of fun. We talked to comedian Andrew Chavone. That's on the channel. So subscribe, smash the like button. Let's talk about PayPal. PayPal, here we go. So this one was one that Chavone was really mad about because it was taking a beating. The stock was setting up for a perfect leg up into the over $300 space. PayPal benefits a lot from Bitcoin because now you can you can buy, I believe sell also Bitcoin on PayPal. They're also adding Ethereum coming soon, and I believe they'll eventually move to Litecoin, Cardano, and all those other. Well, maybe not Cardano because of how volatile it is. Excuse me. But if we look here, 200 MA held, which is awesome. 50 MA broke. But if we look here, we've got that green doji, that sign of hope here that we can usually kind of hope for it to give us some good signs. It can go down. Remember, it can still go down. But I see that as a sign of hope. To me, PayPal is awesome. To me, PayPal is futuristic. To me, PayPal has always been the go-to third-party selling market. I mean, Amazon is still there, but PayPal's fees are still lower. PayPal only charges 10%. Amazon, I believe, charges 15 to 20%, depending on the asset that you're selling. They've entered the crypto game. We discussed it early in the stream. JP Morgan Chase is adding it to their new asset structure that they have where you can kind of be exposed to cryptocurrency stocks. I can tell you right now, 10% of that, we'll call it an ETF for now because I don't know the exact name for this, is going to be PayPal. So we'll see a boost in PayPal due to that. So definitely keep an eye on it. I think PayPal is a really good long-term investment. Down here, it's cheaper. I mean, if you can get it, the low base point that I'm seeing here, you can see there was support here added for this stock at 233. You can see here there's more support for this stock at 225. There's support here at 206. And then there should be sub 200s here at 178. So again, I'd come up here again, 200s. So say 200s. If you can get as close to 200 as possible, you're golden. But again, this is one of those stocks. This reminds me of Square a lot. This reminds me, and Shopify. I think this has a lot of potential to get there. I don't think PayPal is done with their expansions. I think they're just getting started. And you got to remember, this was Elon Musk's baby at a certain time. Before Tesla, it was PayPal. So again, it could be lucky, it could be good, but I definitely keep an eye on it. Okay, so I'm seeing a few messages deleted, but okay, I guess you didn't want to talk about your stock. But let's see. Any more tickers coming in? Smash the like if you haven't, please. I really appreciate that. Gevo. Let's talk about Gevo Bio Fuel. We spoke about this last week too, but we'll review it today. Gevo had a phenomenal day today. Full disclosure, I own the stock. Gevo had a phenomenal day. Gevo, as we saw here, it was ramping up. Got really good news. The co-founder of Gevo is part of the energy cabinet for the Biden administration. No politics involved there, in my opinion. I don't believe she's with the company anymore, but I do know that the administration is looking to go more into biofuel and clean energy. And we've got catalysts for that coming up with the green spending plan or whatever it's called. Not the Green New Deal. There's something else. The stock is going to fight to get that 50 MA back. The MACD is curling. The RSI is showing good signs. We're going to get back over that 50 MA, I believe. Again, not a financial advisor, but I think that this is a good candidate to scalp into $10, which should hit a high of $9.12. But I think this is a good candidate to go to scalp into $10, scalp into 12, 15, and then I think this is eventually going to be a candidate stock that's up to $20. Aaron, buddy, you're muted.
I'm talking to you, but I'm muted. All right, sorry about that. I was saying I'm adding Gevo to my watch list, but so we got to wrap up. But just one last second. I hate to do it to you. Pull up GameStop's chart for me real quick.
Oh baby,
we got to do it. We got to do it. We have a minute left.
Do it, man. We got to get the ratings in.
GameStop.
What the hell is going on with this stock, man? What the market was on fire. GameStop was like, you know what? I'm just going to throw doji. It's like a video game. This thing is like a video game. It's a meme and a video game in one. But this thing gets volume. It had a 30% day. Are we dumb for not playing it? Or is there something here that we don't know? Is Ryan Cohn just a wizard that's just going to rebuild GameStop completely? From a kid that was in the 90s, you were a 90s kid too, right?
Yep, 97.
97, I'm 95. So I like GameStop. GameStop's been around. It's been our childhood go-to, like birthdays, Christmas, holidays. Let me go to GameStop, grab a video game. I don't know, man. This company is an enigma wrapped in a mystery. I think this chart's for the Riddler, but just going off of it, the MACD's getting ready to move. We could see another rally for GameStop soon. It's above the 21 MA. The RSI is going into oversold territory, but we've seen the RSI go up as high as 98. I don't know, this one's very hard to talk about. I'm not going to play it personally just because I wouldn't be able to sleep at night. I'll get agita and I won't be able to sleep at night. But I don't know. This is an enigma. What do you think, Aaron?
I'm with you in that I'm not trading it right now. I did trade it a little bit on its first run up. I mean, at its current price, I'm just a little not going to touch it right now. I'm not going to put any shorts or anything like that on it, but I just am 100% going to be watching how this unfolds throughout the rest of the week, because I'll tell you one thing, I don't think it's going to stay at 248 wherever it's at right now. It's either going to go up a lot or down a lot.
Yeah, this is one of those. When is their earnings? Their unconfirmed earnings is March 23rd. So I think we see this game play out until the 23rd at least. People are taking advantage. I know big money's in this too. It's not just retail.
Oh yeah,
retail can't stir up this kind of volume. No offense to retail, but it's just we don't have that whale budget that these companies do. I don't know, man. I'm not touching it. Good luck to everyone who's in it. Please play it smart. Please take profits. Even if you bought here, take some profits on the way up. Live to fight another day. And hats off, man. Whoever's doing this, good luck. Good luck. Yeah. That's all I can say.
All right. Well, Ryan, that was great. And hey, everyone watching, we'll be back doing another after hours show on Thursday. But tomorrow night we got our after party show. A little different show. We got after hours and after party.
So when you bring the drinks.
Yep. Drinks tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern. We'll be going live. Ryan and I will be. And anything else you want to say, Ryan?
Man, just thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure as always. If you haven't already, smash the like button, subscribe. There's a lot of great shows on the network. And Aaron, as always, man, thank you for being there. Thank you for letting me be your sidekick on this journey.
Oh man, I'm your sidekick here, especially. This is your thing, and it's our pleasure.
This is a Batman Superman situation, not a Batman Robin situation.
All right, I like that. All right, y'all. Well, have a great rest of your Tuesday and happy trading.
Happy trading, guys. Bye-bye.